Last night, the set of Real Time with Bill Maher became ground zero for a political firestorm. What began as a routine panel discussion spiraled into a jaw-dropping confrontation when host Bill Maher abruptly ejected Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett from the show. The studio was stunned. The audience gasped. Social media exploded within minutes. Sources say the segment was centered around a fictional policy debate, one that saw Crockett, known for her unflinching advocacy, clash head-on with Maher's trademark cynicism. From the moment she took her seat, Crockett radiated purpose. But Maher, sharp-tongued as ever, didn't hold back. "Your policy's bold," he said with a smirk. "But is it practical?" The line hung in the air, heavy with challenge. Crockett didn't flinch. "I'm here for the people, Bill," she replied coolly. "Let's dive in." The tension ignited instantly. As Maher continued to needle her, questioning the realism of her fictional proposal, Crockett stood her ground, eyes locked, voice unwavering. "Unrealistic?" she shot back. "I'm grounded in their struggles. Your framing is off." The crowd stirred. Some cheered. Others grabbed their phones. Maher's tone hardened. "This isn't your soapbox," he snapped. "You're dodging, Jasmine." "I'm speaking truth, not your punchline," she answered, leaning forward. That's when it happened. Maher's expression darkened. His voice cut through the buzz. "You're derailing the show. Time to go." Gasps filled the studio, but Crockett didn't blink. "Punchline? Your cynicism dismisses my fight for real people." Audience reaction split wide open, half applauding, half in stunned silence. Maher doubled down. "You're grandstanding. This is my show." "And you're dodging accountability," she said, her voice calm but resolute. Behind the scenes, stagehands froze, their headsets buzzing. The control room watched in stunned disbelief. Maher raised his hand. "You're done here." "No," Crockett replied, rising slightly. "I'm your challenge, and you're underestimating me." The crowd erupted. Some shouted her name, others booed. Phones filmed, clips posted. Within minutes, Aga Crockett vs. Maher trended worldwide. As Maher demanded her exit, Crockett stood tall. "Circus," she echoed. "You mocked my truth. I came prepared." She gestured to her notes. The audience roared again. "You're a guest, Jasmine, not the host," Maher snapped. "I'm not here to be hosted. I'm here to be heard." The exchange crackled with intensity, culminating in Maher's final command. "Leave, now." Crockett turned, steady, unapologetic. "This won't be the last time I speak, but it might be the last time you don't listen." And just like that, she walked off. The fallout? Immediate. Clips are everywhere. Op-eds are already in the works. Some call it a media meltdown. Others call it a watershed moment. But one thing's clear. Jasmine Crockett didn't come to play along. She came to shift the narrative. And for one unforgettable night, she did just that. Last night, the set of Real Time with Bill Maher erupted into a blazing crucible of emotion and defiance. What began as a spirited panel discussion turned into a political powder keg when Representative Jasmine Crockett, known for her unflinching advocacy and unshakable voice, clashed head-on with host Bill Maher. His decision to eject her from the show didn't just end a segment. It ignited a moment that electrified the audience, shook the studio, and sent shockwaves across the internet. Crockett's voice cut through the noise. "I'm your challenge, Bill. You're underestimating me." Her tone, steady, fierce. Her presence, unmovable. Maher, leaning into his trademark, authority, pushed back hard. "Challenge? Jasmine, you're disruptive. Your arguments are weak. His words pierced, laced with the edge of showmanship, as he dismissed her fictional policy proposal as idealistic and impractical. But Crockett didn't flinch. Her eyes locked on his. Weak? My case is rooted in truth. You're off track. The audience reacted instantly. Some cheered, others murmured. Phones went up. Clips began flooding social media. Maher pressed again, his tone sharpening. You're hijacking my show. You're no match for reason. Crockett fired back with rising conviction. Reason? I'm exposing your cynicism, Bill. I'm standing my ground. The tension surged, the studio brimming with energy. Stagehands stood frozen, headset chatter crackling, as the exchange pushed the show into uncharted territory. One trending headline read, Crockett defies Maher. Live. Maher narrowed his gaze. Hold it. You're a guest, Jasmine. I run this stage. The crowd erupted, half in defense of Maher, half rallying behind Crockett. Then her tone shifted. Slower, sharper, more personal. Your mockery dismisses my fight. I represent the voiceless, Bill. You can't bury my truth. A pause. Then Maher's retort. You're not a martyr. You're grandstanding. But Crockett leaned in, eyes gleaming. I carry their pain, Bill. My cause is just. And I'm not done. I'm just rising. Her words struck like a drumbeat through the studio. Some sobbed, others chanted. One woman in the front row whispered, She's shaking him. And Maher? His usual certainty wavered for a flicker of a moment. His voice dropped low. You're done, Jasmine. But Crockett stood taller. Her voice didn't tremble. Then cut the mic. But know this. I'm not done. I'm just getting started. The segment ended, but the fire didn't. Social feeds lit up. Hashtags exploded. The moment had become more than TV. It had become a cultural reckoning. And in the eye of that storm stood Jasmine Crockett, unmoved.
My cause is their hope, Bill. Their cries echo in me. Her voice soared as she recounted the harsh realities of systemic inequities with searing clarity. Maher's eyes narrowed, his usual composure softened. Hope? You're passionate. Jasmine, he murmured, barely audible over the roaring audience. The crowd erupted, some standing, filming, others moved to tears. Clips exploded across social media, instantly trending. Crockett's plea went viral, millions watching, captivated by her raw sincerity. She pressed on, fierce and unwavering. I'm their voice, Bill. Feel their fight. The studio pulsed, with energy. What primed Crockett's bold move was the unyielding truth behind her words. Sources report Maher gripping the desk, voice tinged with respect and hesitation. You've challenged this stage, Jasmine. She fired back with equal fire. I'm their justice, Bill. Rethink your ejection. The audience roared, some rushing the aisles, others chanting, Jasmine's truth. Maher paused, conceding. You're heard. Insiders whispered, She's shaking him. The night raced toward a breathtaking climax as Crockett's heartfelt plea set the stage for a move that stunned everyone. Rising from her seat, her voice steady but fierce, she revealed a tablet displaying a video montage, constituents sharing their struggles. These are their voices. Mock them if you dare. The gesture was bold, unprecedented. The audience reacted fiercely, cheers mingling with sobs. Maher's eyes widened in surprise. Jasmine, this is a talk show. Sit down. His voice wavered, caught between shock and uncertainty. The crowd surged, the energy electric, stagehands frozen, headsets silent, the record holding the tension tight. Crockett pressed forward. Their pain is real, Bill. Your cynicism dismisses it. As the video played, the voices tied to her fictional policy echoed through the studio. The audience erupted, some chanting, Jasmine! Jasmine! Others whispered, "She's unstoppable." Phones captured every moment, the clip rapidly trending. Crockett stuns Maher. Maher's composure faltered, his voice lowered, reflective. "You've made your point, Jasmine. I'm listening." The crowd erupted again, some shouting. "Crockett's winning," others murmured. "Maher's shaken." The tide had turned. The climax shattered all restraint. Insiders said Crockett stood resolute. "Their hope demands respect, Bill, not mockery." Her delivery blended defiance and empathy, and Maher's resolve wavered. "Your actions are bold, Jasmine. This stage sees it," he admitted, conceding. The audience surged, standing, filming, weeping. Clips flooded platforms, trending instantly. Crockett's gesture was live, historic, amassing millions of shares. She was a titan. Unstoppable. Maher nodded slowly, the words tentative but clear. "I'm reconsidering, Jasmine. Your points are clear." The studio thrummed with new energy. Crockett's action had shifted the balance. Sources said Maher stared at the screen, voice carrying newfound respect. "You've disrupted this show, Jasmine." She stood firm. "I've amplified their voices, Bill. Their trust demands it." The audience roared, some rushing aisles, others chanting, "Jasmine's fire." Maher exhaled, voice softening. "You've spoken. I'm reflecting." The clash teetered between challenge and concession. Insiders whispered, "She's floored him." The night surged toward a triumphant resolution. Crockett's bold action was the spark that stunned the studio and reshaped the narrative. Real Time with Bill Maher erupted into a soul-shattering triumph as the host's showman's authority bowed to awe. He formally retracted his ejection, allowing her to remain, transforming the fiery panel into a breathtaking spectacle that left the audience in stunned admiration. Crockett's resolve radiated, the internet ablaze with reaction. "I've amplified their voices. Their trust demands it," she declared, her words the final blow to Maher's earlier stance. He conceded, voice heavy with respect. "Jasmine, your actions are powerful. You're staying on this stage." The crowd exploded. Wild cheers, tears, chants, while Crockett stood tall, triumphant. "Thank you, Bill." Their voices prevailed, she said, steady and radiant. The studio pulsated with victory as stagehands stood silent, headsets quiet, the record capturing every moment of triumph. Insiders say she continued quietly, "Their hope fuels my fight, Bill. I carry it." Maher nodded, respectful. "You've made your case, Jasmine." The audience roared, some filming, others shouting, "She's unstoppable." Clips flooded social platforms, trending worldwide. Maher concluded, "Let's move forward, Jasmine." The studio pulsed with new energy as Crockett's victory sealed Maher's retraction. The immediate aftermath hit like a tidal wave. Sources said Crockett returned to her seat and whispered, "I stood for them." She was guided through a swarm of reporters while the audience buzzed. Maher transitioned to the next segment, reflective. That was something. The crowd cheered, some filming, others chanting, carrying the moment far beyond the studio walls. Justice was served as security monitored the exits, closing out a night that erupted into a blazing online triumph. The moment exploded across X with Crockett stunning Maher and one thread reading, "Trending globally, her action lauded." Maher's concession became a viral milestone, sparking an intense fallout that surged through social media. Crockett's tweet, "Voices break barriers," posted hours later, pulled in over 700,000 likes and flooded replies praising her. "You owned that stage." A sprawling tree of memes and captioned videos toppled egos and flooded platforms like TikTok and Instagram, amplifying the saga's soaring impact. Her fierce advocacy cemented Crockett's influence, while Maher's reluctant concession sparked debate. Some applauded his humility, others argued Crockett had forced his hand. Analysts called the clash a cultural spark with seismic ripples, declaring she either redefined or shattered the norms of talk show confrontations. One observer noted, hosts will either seek bolder guests or tighten control. The public remained divided, half roared in support of Crockett's humility in humbling a host, half marveled at Maher's grace under pressure. But the moment's fuse was lit, and what came next was far from over. The seismic fallout from Representative Jasmine Crockett's shocking move on Real Time with Bill Maher, where she displayed a powerful video montage of constituent struggles to counter Maher's provocative ejection, has set the internet ablaze. Her triumphant vow that their voices prevailed, coupled with Maher's concession to keep her on stage, transformed a fiery panel into a cultural juggernaut, propelling Crockett's influence skyward. Maher's authoritative stance softened, while social platforms buzzed with reactions that will echo for weeks. Sources say what started as a tense studio clash ended with Crockett proving her unmatched resolve, a viral supernova victory reshaping public discourse and securing a moment now etched in digital lore. Post-show, Crockett's aura blazed like a comet as she left the studio with electrifying poise. "I stood for them," she whispered resolutely, shielded by aides amid a frenzy of reporters. The audience lingered, while X erupted with her tweet, "Voices break barriers," amassing 900,000 likes and a deluge of replies. Trending rapidly, clips of Maher's concession and Crockett's radiant gesture looped millions of times. A viral thread declared her unstoppable. Memes and captioned videos flooded social media, toppling critics who labeled her a showboat. The surge drowned dissent. Crockett had become a star, gilded in triumph. Maher's camp remained measured, with sources saying his next monologue was subdued. His concession cast a bold shadow, drawing scrutiny to his hosting style and insiders hint at serious reflection. Analysts proclaim Crockett rewrote the script, noting Maher showed humility tempered by respect. The audience's cheers echoed online. "Jasmine's a titan," resonated across platforms, her advocacy a beacon. The internet fractured like a fault line, supporters chanting, "She's a voice for justice, unbreakable," while detractors muttered, "She's a politician, not a debater." Debates raged over whether Crockett redefined talk show confrontations, as pundits dissected her masterful performance. One said Maher was visibly moved. Another predicted a spike in Crockett's political clout. Her public support surged, her brand radiant. Sources reveal Crockett is strategizing next moves, perhaps a national speech or media tour, with her silence speaking volumes. The victory crowned her platform with moral authority, her influence spotlighted like never before. The ripple effects are tectonic, media spheres real. Experts call it a pivotal moment. Crockett either reshaped or shattered talk show dynamics. One insider warned hosts face a choice: invite bolder guests or enforce stricter formats, risking irrelevance if they falter. The public remains split. Half roar in admiration for her humility and boldness, half marvel at Maher's graceful concession. The clash became a cultural lightning bolt, etching Crockett's ascent and Maher's nuance into viral lore. Beyond the studio, Crockett's brand skyrockets, her resolve unquestioned. Maher's stature adjusts, empathy noted. This isn't the end. It's a spark. Crockett's next fight and Maher's next show are poised to ignite. So, if you're hooked on this drama, smash that subscribe button now. Don't miss the next blaze.